Good morning. Welcome to Cuyahoga County's Community Development Committee meeting of the County Council. It's Thursday, July 7th, 2022, and it is 10 a.m. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Calling the roll, Ms. Stevens.
Present.
Mr. Jones.
Here.
Ms. Simon. Ms. Simon is absent at the moment. Mr. Gallagher.
Here.
Ms. Baker.
Here.
We have a quorum. Also like the record to reflect that Councilmember Tuma is also in attendance.
Thank you. At this time, is there any public comment?
No, Madam Chair, no one submitted any public comment.
Thank you. Could I have a motion to accept or reject the minutes?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second, Nan Baker.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes for June 27th are approved. Matters referred to committee. Madam Clerk.
Resolution 2022-0152, awarding a total sum not to exceed $854,355 to the City of Middleburg Heights for the purpose of completing the Southland District Streetscape Improvement Project from the District 4 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Is there anyone here to make a presentation on behalf of this? If you would come to the podium and state your name, your title, and the organization you work for.
Thank you. I'm Mayor Matt Castelli from Middleburg Heights. With me today is Jim Herron, our Service Director.
Before us, we have a request for streetscape improvements. Would you do a general perspective of what you're asking for?
Sure, absolutely. We do have a small presentation. Started out about 30, 40 pages. We did whittle that back down to about 5 pages. So,
Appreciate it.
so to get started, this is the Southland District Streetscape Improvement Project. We also call it the Complete Street Project. I want to give you a little history of how this started. The City of Middleburg Heights funded the Southland Redevelopment Initiative, which ultimately led to a vision founded on a public-private partnership that will transform Southland Shopping Center from an outdated, disconnected retail area to a 21st century walkable, mixed-use, vibrant neighborhood hub. And that ultimately will attract new economic investment and propel the city and the region into the future. This 2-year-long process included multiple meetings with business owners, property owners, residents. We talked to visitors that came into Southland. We also met with regional organizations such as the County Planning Commission, as well as the Metro Parks and NOACA. City of Middleburg Heights has the potential to reconfigure Smith Road as a recognizable main street, sort of our downtown area, with improved streetscape, added green space and tree canopy, traffic calming, landscaped medians, on-street parking, natural stormwater treatment strategies, and multipurpose trail with connections to neighboring communities, residential areas, as well as the Metro Parks on Big Creek Parkway. Additionally, we've made some changes to our zoning code that will allow us to infuse residential development into this area to ultimately create a complete neighborhood. I wanted to talk just briefly about this project, that it's kind of multifaceted. It's more than just a local Middleburg Heights project. So first, it's truly a regional project. Southland Shopping Center is considered a regional commercial area that serves persons living throughout the entire county. According to the U.S. Census Bureau 2020 data, there are over 29,000 households and a total population of over 65,000 within just a 3-mile area. And then additionally, there are 71,000 households and a total population of over 160,000 within just a 5-mile driving distance from Southland. So truly, this is a regional shopping district. Next, this project that I have before you is also an economic development project. Private ownership is looking to make significant improvements to their properties in the amount of tens of millions of dollars of redevelopment and new buildings. It is estimated that over 100+ new permanent jobs will be created in the new commercial buildings that will line Smith Road. These new jobs will equate to approximately $3 million of additional payroll annually. And I can tell you that these are very conservative estimates. We think that based on the conversations that we're having with private ownership, that we could see more than double those types of additional jobs. Most importantly, this type of investment will happen only if we're able to create the vision that we have in front of you today. Additionally, this is an infrastructure and multimodal transportation project. The redesign of Smith Road Corridor will contribute to the goal of building a sustainable, multimodal transportation system by reusing existing infrastructure that is currently oversized and reallocating the right-of-way to allow for healthy transportation choices. Preserving much of the existing infrastructure is more sustainable than reconfiguring the district. The primary impetus behind reconfiguring Smith Road is to provide supportive infrastructure for the business flanking it. Property owners are looking to reposition their lots and to put, buildings on top of Smith Road, creating that Main Street feel and downtown feel in Middleburg Heights. And again, this investment will be the backbone to ensuring this project moves forward. Additionally, the project will include a multi-purpose trail, which will extend along Smith Road, connecting Southland north into Parma Heights, and then south down to the Metro Parks on Big Creek Parkway. The city has been fortunate to receive a grant from NOACA for $280,000. We're also putting in $70,000 as a matching fund with that particular grant, and that ultimately will help us put in the multi-purpose trail. This expansion of the trail network supports implementation of the Cuyahoga County Greenways Plan, demonstrating further regional connection and growth potential. The addition of the trail and sidewalks incorporate new active transportation options into the corridor and increase connection points within and out into the surrounding area. So we know that this will connect into Parma Heights, this connects into our community, into Big Creek Parkway, and we also have additional residential areas surrounding Southland in our community that will ultimately put trails in to connect pedestrian traffic into Southland. It's also an environmental project. The streetscape improvements will add additional tree canopy, green spaces, and the elimination of impervious surface that should assist with the reduction of flooding issues in nearby Big Creek Parkway, where Southland drains. The proposed project will reduce the number of lanes on Smith Road from 5 to 3 with on-street parking. This narrowing of the physical roadway and corridor will provide traffic calming effects and reinforce slower vehicle travel speeds, which will create a more pedestrian focus in this area. And then lastly, just wanted to leave you with a visual of ultimately where we would like to see this Main Street vision. And if you take a look at the upper right corner, we have kind of the existing, a picture of the existing conditions as they are today. And as you can see, it's truly just an ocean, a vast ocean of concrete and parking lot and asphalt. And with your help, we hope to transform what you see there today into this vision of tomorrow. So I will end with that, and happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Do my colleagues have questions? Mr. Tuma.
Madam Chair, thank you. I appreciate everyone letting me speak on the committee, even though I'm not a sitting member. I just wanted to thank Mayor Castelli for being here today. And this is a very exciting and transformational project at Middleburg Heights. I'm proud to sponsor this legislation, and very pleased that the tax dollars are going back to the residents of Middleburg Heights and into District 4. Mayor Castelli and City Council out in Middleburg Heights are a very proactive type of leadership, and the residents there have come to expect very good things from them. And this is a very positive, very good for the economy, very good for the natural environment, and it does have support from Parma Heights leadership as well. I spoke with them, and I would ask for my colleagues' support on this project moving forward, and look forward again to sponsoring this legislation. Thank you.
Mr. Gallagher.
Mayor, thanks for being here. projects like this, you're a neighbor to Strongsville, and it's important to have your neighboring communities maintain the progressive movement that they're doing. I go through Middleburg Heights often, and welcome these changes. It's going to give, I think, Middleburg Heights some character as to a destination place. It's right now, it's kind of, as you said, a bit of an ocean of mishmash that can, once condensed in together, will give you that sense of community that has been longing in Middleburg Heights. So this is a great project, and those of us in the South that are attached to you welcome this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Baker?
Thank you, Chair. I too think it's very impactful for what it is that you're presenting and what you have and what you see as your vision for Middleburg Heights. I do have a couple of finance questions, if that's okay. The total project is $6.4 million, and if I'm adding up here what you have already in the works, you're pretty far from that. You're contributing $300,000 or already have for your engineering, and your ask today is $854,000, and then you're also putting in, NOACA is contributing $280,000, and the city, again, $70,000 to match. But that brings you to about $1.5 million. So how do you get from 1.5 to the 6.4?
So we have an additional $1.6 million that we've set aside for this project. We also have the ability and opportunity to put more money towards this project. We are looking at some additional funding opportunities. But when we look at the total cost of the project, we believe it's going to be somewhere between $4 to $6.4 million. And we also can phase in portions of this. What our focus is going to be is to ensure we put the infrastructure in place that kind of kickstarts the private investment. So there are certain elements that we can phase in over time if we need to. But ultimately, our goal is to create that Main Street, which ultimately will, get the private sector to say, okay, now we're ready to put those buildings up on top of that on the top of that Main Street and get their investment going. So this project also will include private investment as well. So there's a lot of streetscaping that they're going to end up doing that will be part of this project. Normally, with our zoning code, we would have certain requirements for landscaping, and based on the fact of where they're going to be located, it's going to help the actual streetscape.
May I follow?
Yes.
So the 1.5 that you've expressed in your report, the criteria that was set with the application, along with the 1.6 million that you've committed that really wasn't stated on this application, you are now at about a 3 million
Correct.
plus going into this project, which if this project is 4 to 6 million, you're pretty close.
Correct.
And then you also have your private investment that will take care of perhaps what it goes over that amount.
Correct.
So
And
that
for-
makes more sense to me than what I was reading here.
Thank you, and apologize that wasn't clear enough, but fortunately, we do have the resources on our own to put additional funds if we need to.
At what, if I may, at what point would the 854,000 ARPA dollars be triggered for you to go ahead? Because I think I heard you say, unless the vision is moving forward, you will not use these funds. Did I hear you correctly?
Oh, no, we'll use those funds. I mean, we have the ability to move forward today. Right now, we have already started on 30% of the engineering. We've already gone out, hired on a consulting group, an engineering firm, along with an architecture firm that's working on the design guidelines for the district. That 30% engineering should be done within the next couple months. Once that's complete, that'll give us a better understanding of exactly what we need to do. There's some additional work we're trying to figure out, what we need to do underground as well as above ground. So once we have that, we're moving forward on to the final stages of the engineering. So this project's going to be moving forward. So those funds will be used. This project, we think, is probably going to take us about 2 years.
2 years.
And those funds will be used within that period of time.
And again, not to repeat, the 1.6 million that is on top of what was talked about here, plus the 1.5 million, including the ARPA, get you 2/3 or more better into the project. And then, as you said, the private investment with landscaping and other streetscapes,
Yes.
with the excitement of this coming together, makes sense. So thank you for your answers.
Thank you.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
If I could just follow up for the councilwoman, having spoke with the mayor and Chuck Bashar over in Middleburg Heights, you know, I know one of the things they're really looking to do, they've been working, as the mayor indicated, with private investors over there, with the private businesses, and, you know, they want to, the businesses themselves understandably want to see that the city is committed to the project. And so I think part of what is important here is the ability to kickstart the project. And once they see that, you know, the county is on board, they know that they're very serious about what's going to be happening in that area and much more willing to participate in jumping in, you know, 100% on the project. So that's, again, without getting into the specifics, I know they've been working very diligently with the private businesses and ownership over there. So that's an important component of this, but thank you.
Thanks.
Chairman?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, thank you, Mayor, for being here and your team. I'm just glad that you applied for these dollars. It's just a benefit to this community, and I just don't have too many questions other than just glad you're here and we have an opportunity to consider this project. And just thank you all for your hard work.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Actually, maybe one question. Who is actually the private developer?
Well, the complexity of the Southland District, and that's why, you know, we've really taken the last several years as the city took the initiative to do the Southland redevelopment initiative. There's multiple owners in the area. There's about 8 different owners throughout the Southland District. On this Main Street section, there are 4 to 5 different owners. So we are in different stages right now with those particular owners on site plans, projects. You know, I can't go into a lot of details right now, but I can tell you that Brixmor is the owner of what I would call Southland Central. We expect to see some news over the next few months from them. Seritage owns the old Sears property. And again, we expect to see some news from them over the next couple months. But we have been working closely with, those are the 2 largest, that's why I mentioned them. There's some other owners as well that have already put site plans together and are ready to move forward, have already done engineering on their properties. So those are the 2 kind of main players that I think once either one of those go, just one of those projects alone will be significantly transformative.
Great. All right.
Thank you.
If there are no further questions, do I hear a motion to refer this to council? Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
With no opposition, this moves forward to council with 100% support.
And
Thank
Madam
you.
Chair, if you would add my name to the resolution.
Thank you. Ms. Baker, would you like to add your name to this? Thank you.
Thank you. We greatly appreciate your support.
Good luck with your project.
Thank you.
Excuse me,
Clerk.
Madam Chair, just to confirm that is going for a second reading.
That is correct.
And also, as a reminder to all in attendance, this meeting is being recorded and live streamed on the county YouTube page. Resolution 2022-0155, awarding a total sum not to exceed $590,000 to the City of Berea for the purpose of Cold Lake Park and Park Knoll Park upgrades for the district from the District 5 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Good morning. Is there anyone here to present on behalf of the City of Berea?
Good morning. My name is Matt Madzi. I'm the Economic Development Director for the City of Berea, and Tony Armano, our Director of Public Works, is with me as well. Good morning, and thank you to the Committee of Community Development for allowing us to meet with you this morning. We do have a small presentation, a couple slides on PowerPoint that we'd like to show at this time. The City of Berea is located in the southwest suburbs in Cuyahoga County, and for the past 15 years, the city has made significant improvements to our park systems, including Cold Lake Park. We have done those with improvements from both general fund as well as some grant funds we had received from Cuyahoga County. For the last 15 years, we made improvements such as we've installed an amphitheater, a new pavilion, we've done a large playground, parking lot upgrades, we have a small zip line, we did a pergola, we did a reforestation project. We've done a lot of different projects over the last 15 years to try to attempt to make this a hub of the southwest suburbs, a destination for those that live around us and guests and residents as well. This picture on the front page was taken just a few weeks ago. Back on June 17th, we had our first concert of the year. We do 6 concerts throughout the summer, and we had, I would say, several thousand people in attendance at that. So that's at our new amphitheater, looking at the stage that we did a few years ago. This is an aerial shot of Coe Lake Park. You'll see the large lake that used to be a quarry, and once the quarrying was finished there, it was turned over to the city of Berea. You'll see the circular pattern next to the lake. That's the amphitheater seating and where we set up the stage. Behind that, we have a pavilion that does have 2 sides of a fireplace. Previously to the existence of any of the Coe Lake improvements, the municipal pool was there, so it had already been somewhat of a destination. And then finally to the middle, but on the left, we developed a large playground that's there and then did some parking lot improvements. Once we had completed these projects, the city then started to add our own programming. So this is a shot from pre-pandemic, but this is our 4th of July festival. This is on 4th of July. This is pre-fireworks. So you'll see that we've been able to utilize these areas for public gathering spaces as a destination. And this is the playground. I was remarking before the meeting that I really wanted to search through the city's photos of the playground to find a good photo that shows that there's kids and it's sunshine and everything is active over there. But rather than look through my old photos, I just went out to the playground and took a photo that day because I had complete confidence that we'd have a lot of kids out there playing. And sure enough, there were kids and parents and a lot of folks that are there. And we routinely meet people as you're walking through from other communities, from our community. During the pandemic, I think Coe Lake was part of our saving grace. We would go there and there would be people in lawn chairs and circles, socially distanced. There were groups of people that were knitting, that were discussing, that were doing book clubs. So once the city has implemented our own programming, what we've seen in response is that the community and the free market has come to us to institute its own programming. This is a market that the city doesn't have anything to do with other than we rent the space to the market. They come once a month. They were there last evening. They come on a Wednesday, and they have local crafters and local artisans come, and they do this art market. It's called CLE Market. So it was our public investment that led to the private sector coming and being involved. Additionally, other private sector things that have come in, we have paddleboard yoga that takes place over there. We have kayak rentals. So a lot of different things have taken place after the public dollars have gone in. The second place that I wanted to highlight where we're looking to do, future park improvements we're looking in there is to build a treehouse. So this treehouse would be situated between the amphitheater and the public pool. We think it's going to be a great observation point to view the lake, to view the concerts, and for kids to just get up there and run around. There are 3 different platforms, 1 large platform, 2 smaller platforms. 1 platform is raised, a little bit higher than the other ones. So we would look to build this later this year, moving into next year. And then we are applying for funds. We would like to add an ADA accessibility lift near the stairwell to allow people to get to that second deck. Additionally, at Coe Lake, we are fortunate because the Berea branch of the Cuyahoga County Public Library is attached to our city campus. It's right in the same area. So we are partnering with, we did a few years ago, County Council, we partnered to do a Lake to Library Greenway connector. And this is an area that allows people to get from the lake and the park to the library. And now we are further working with the library system to develop a story walk trail through there. So a story walk trail is, there's platforms that are erected, and each month they change the children's book. So each one of the platforms that would be installed at those yellow locations along that area would have a different 2 pages from the book. And we have also worked with them to potentially work out a history of Berea section at some point with them. So that project, we would look to move forward with these ARPA funds as well. Second location we wanted to highlight is Parknell Park. This had been a former site of elementary school. The city acquired it from the Berea City School District. And upon acquisition, we have installed a large playground and developed 2 Little League fields that are there. But we'd like to develop that park even further. To develop on this drawing, it is a a light blue line that wraps around there, develop that as a walking trail with workout stations throughout the trail, and we would have some of the workout stations would be ADA compliant to allow all people to use them. And then additionally, there's a bright blue box that's there next to the playground. We would develop that as some flex court space to allow us to do pickleball, basketball, and other types of recreational activities in that area. So these are some diagrams of the potential workout equipment which would be accessible for those in wheelchairs that we would look to install along the trail. And finally, a concept idea of what a flex sport courts would look like and our ability to program those in different ways. So with that, I would be happy to answer any questions, but we appreciate the committee allowing us to come down this morning.
I want to give you kudos for moving us through this presentation really quickly, but since I live northeast and I don't spend a lot of time anymore in Berea, I was like, okay, which direction is it?
Sorry, I apologize.
So I know where the lake is,
Yes.
like most folks, but it was like, okay, you're going to build a tree house where? At the back, where there's some large trees or small bushes behind the amphitheater now?
I can show you.
Okay, so the big trees, okay, there.
There would be.
So where the big trees are, is that where you want to put the tree house?
Correct. So they would be, in this photo, they'd be right to the right of the pool. We do have some large trees that are there. Part of the treehouse would be supported by the trees, but then another part would be supported by utility poles. That would also give us the additional space to get the structure in.
Then the next thing you wanted to, I'm a recovering planner, so I'm amazed at how you're doing this.
Thank you.
Let's see, and then the next phase was to put in a court near the library. Now, stay on this slide. Which direction do we go to the library from?
So the library, see towards the top of the photo, there's a large tan building that's sticking out.
Yes.
If you were to come then to the side of that, that's our municipal campus, our building, the city hall, that's connected to the library. And there is a line of trees that are somewhat hard to see. It's kind of behind the red, blue, and yellow pop-ups there in the middle of that parking lot and the sea of people. Right behind there, we did a designated walkway. So previously, people walked through the parking lot to get from the park to the library. But how wide is that? Is that 20 feet wide?
So it's a little more than 20 feet wide. The walkway itself is about 12.
Excuse me, you have to speak into the microphone. Thank you.
Sorry. So it
You
is,
need to identify yourself since.
sorry. Tony Armagno, Director of Public Works with the City of Berea. So the walkway is approximately,
Between the municipal courts and the municipal building?
so it is between the library and the lake,
Oh, okay.
the walkway. And it is able to, so as you come out of the front door of the library, you can use that walkway to get all the way over to the lake. And it's about 25 feet wide and includes landscaping, some bollard lighting, some overhead Edison lights, and that is the area we're looking to put the story walk.
Okay. Okay. And then where was the field, the flexible field that could be a tennis court or,
That would be at a different site.
oh, okay. I was like, no, that there's land there.
There's not much room left. That's right. We've developed quite a lot of the park, and then the idea to leave some of it natural as well.
Okay. So that's why you included Polnark Park.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't make the transition well from there. Okay, do my colleagues have questions? Ms. Baker?
Thank you. Again, another impactful project. It's impressive what you already have there. I haven't been to Berea, so it's good to see. I'll have to take a visit out there.
Thank you.
Just again with the numbers, just so I understand, is this total project for both 775,000?
Yes, for both projects.
Seems, that seems low for the amount of work that you're talking about, but going from there, it is also, when we have small organizations contribute, that shows that that really is a valued project. I mean, it may not be a lot. You have here the Berea Kiwanis Club, who is always trying to raise money to help the community out, and I'm a member of the Westlake Kiwanis, so I know how much work they put into it. So to receive $30,000 from them is saying something. And also from the Elks Club, again, receiving money from them, even though it's $5,000, that's $5,000 of their budget that they are contributing to this project, so they also must feel that this is a community effort. Good to see that you use the CDSG grant, too, towards this. This is what we hope that you will use it for. And of course, the city of Berea is putting in 100. But that adds up to about 158,000, and you're asking for 590,000. And that 590 will cover both projects and what you need to do to finish it?
Yes.
It will. And do you have a breakdown of what each project, because there's two?
We do have a breakdown when we put the numbers together. I unfortunately don't have those numbers with me. But I know, Tony, do you have any more of the numbers on that?
Not on the top.
Is there one project that's more significant than the other in
The
country?
treehouse project was the Coal Lake improvements were more significant.
You know, and anytime we see a lakefront project improvement, that brings more people to the lake, that enhances our county and our state really as a whole, is a good project. So thank you for including that and coming forward.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Mr. Gallagher?
Guys, thanks for being here. Berea is kind of close to my heart because I tell everybody it reminds me of Lakewood where I grew up. And it's about the closest thing to Lakewood that I can get in my district. Matt's worked diligently. I didn't realize all that they had done to Coal Lake until they directed me back there to one day, and I'm like, what happened here? One of the most proactive communities as far as the Coal Lake and their ballparks are going. Just happy to be able to help this out, and especially with the with kids with disabilities. You know, when you can incorporate them into a real life, it's important. So I would really ask my colleagues to take a hard look at this, and hopefully we can move it forward.
Mr. Juma?
Thank you. I appreciate you letting me speak on the committee. I've been out to Coal Lake before. I've been there for prom pictures and dragged out there, I should say. But it's a very impressive area, and it's projects like this that help improve the quality of life of your residents and all the residents in the area. And to see families and kids and seniors all gathered together in a common area is just a very, very nice thing. And it's a fantastic project. And Madam Chair, I'd like to add my name as a co-sponsor on this as well. Thank you.
Yes, and
Mr. President?
thank you, Madam Chair, and please add my name as well. Again, just thank you for being here today. Again, we have received so many applications, and this is, as the councilman said, just one of those incredible projects that I look forward to supporting. I'm a Cleveland East Sider, but I come to Berea for the Browns training camp time.
Great.
And of course the rib burn off. Get to see Coal Lake from time to time. So, beautiful city. I'm glad we can be a part of helping your transformational work here.
Thank you.
If there are no further questions, can I hear a motion? There's a first by Mr. Gallagher. Is there a second? Thank you, Madam Baker.
And please add my name also.
Thank you. And at this time, if there is no further conversation, the motion has been made in second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? This motion moves forward to the council. And congratulations, the full body will be seeing this for 3 presentations. Thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk?
Resolution 2022-0158, awarding a total sum not to exceed $108,000 to the City of Olmsted Falls for the rehabilitation of the David Fortier River Park and East River Park multi-use path from the District 5 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Do we have someone to make a presentation this morning? If you will state your name, your title, and the organization you represent.
Good morning. I'm Jim Graven, Mayor for the City of Olmsted Falls, and this is Don Sheehy. He's our city engineer. And I was going to make a brief statement, and then Mr. Sheehy will give a short presentation. First, I'd like to thank County Council and Councilman Michael Gallagher for listening to our community's needs and for considering recreation projects for our city. East River Road, Village Green, and David 48 Park improvement projects will have a positive impact on the city of Olmsted Falls. And these projects will also benefit many people living in the southwest area of Cuyahoga County. This important funding will help us to take action on many of the suggestions in our master plan. The Cuyahoga County Planning Commission guided our master plan process. And the park improvements will also help to draw visitors to our city and also assist our business owners. The city of Olmsted Falls has many beautiful parks, 6 actually, 3 large ones and 3 small ones. However, our residents have been asking for some park improvements over the last few years and also asking for additions and changes that would improve our park use. And that is why your grants this year would help us to achieve this goal that we have had over the last 3 years. The new playgrounds will be multi-generational and also ADA accessible. And we do have a walkable downtown, so many people would be able to walk to these parks. And your funding would help our city to ensure that our park system matches the needs of all of our residents and residents throughout the southwest area of Cuyahoga County. In closing, our master plan developed 3 visions that were related to our parks and recreation. Number 1, a system that would serve residents of all ages and abilities. Number 2, expanded access to underused parks. And lastly, enhanced connections to our network of parks. So with your help, we would be able to pursue these visions, and we would also be able to achieve our goals. Thank you, and now Mr. Sheehy will give a short video presentation.
Good morning. Thank you. The first,
You have
sorry.
to identify yourself.
Yes, my name is Don Sheehy, the city engineer for Olmsted Falls. The David 48 Park and East River Park multi-use path rehabilitation project. There are existing paths in both of these parks, and the paths do take you right down to the Rocky River. It's a really nice access point to get to the river and close up to nature there. Each area kind of has its own personality, but the East River Park is more accessible for people that might want to, local residents and people from the surrounding areas that might want to drive, have a picnic, that type of thing, and then go down to the park. The David 48 Park is actually a pretty walkable park, especially from local residents in our historic district that can actually, or the business district, they can cross a bridge and take some walkways to get down to the park area. The existing path is over 20 years old in both of these areas. It's showing some signs of wear and age, and it really needs to be rehabilitated to make it more accessible to people generally, but also for handicap access and ADA accessibility. We're looking forward to hopefully getting this park, these 2 path areas getting repaved to improve access to these park areas and also access to the Rocky River.
Are there any questions? Yes, Ms. Baker.
Thank you. Again, I think it looks like a good project. I grew up in Olmsted Falls, so I'm more familiar with this than I was in Berea. Certainly, I know the Village Green and the park system and the historical. You have just a wonderful city there that I like to visit. Couple things on just to get the financing clear. It sounds like this project would not happen if it wasn't for the contribution of the ARPA dollars. Is that fair to say?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
and with you have a population of 9,000, which is not, I come from a city of 30+ thousand, so certainly the revenue is nothing like what you would receive in Olmsted Falls. So it's understandable that your contribution towards it would be less. But you are contributing 10% towards the project, which is good. And when do you think this would be finished?
This would, depending on the timing and the funding, it could potentially be done this year, but it's likely a project for early '23. It's not a complicated project, but we would just need to get the bid documents and get, fair prices on it.
No. And the design and engineering costs, you have full support of council for that?
Yes.
So you're already on your way as far as everyone agreeing this is a project that they would like to see done?
Yes, we are.
Yes. Over the last 3 years, our focus.
Excuse me, you have to speak into the microphone, please. Thank you.
Over the last 3 years, our focus has been on public safety. We bought a new ambulance, new police cruisers, so we've been neglecting parks and recreation. So now we finally have an opportunity to enhance the parks and recreation. Thank you.
Okay, good. Well, thank you for answering the questions. Appreciate it.
Mayor, thank you for being here. As we are experiencing as a council, we don't usually get to see everybody else's representatives. But the one thing that rings true with everyone is it's a struggle to run a township or a city or a village for that matter. Olmsted Falls being a beautiful community with very little access to industrial. So the tax base is very, very limited. So it's very difficult, much like our friends in the township. You're not Strongsville, but even I know Strongsville struggled before Mayor Persiak. So every little bit helps is my point. And anything that we can do, I would appreciate my colleagues again taking a hard look at this so we can provide updates to the play areas for the multi-uses for the older folks and the younger folks. And I was happy to help as much as I can, so hopefully we can get this through. Thank you, Mayor.
Anyone else? Looks like we're about to finish the first stage. Is there a motion? Well, how about we finish this first one and then we read the next three together because they are related. You're right. I just noticed that one. So we're thinking the same thing.
Madam Chair, I will make the motion.
Thank you. Any conversation?
Please add my name.
Please add your name.
Yeah, please add my name as well.
And
Thank
mine
you.
also, thank you.
If all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? This motion moves forward to council with the standard 3 readings. At this point, Madam Clerk, if you would read all 3 of them together. I forget what that rule is when they're related.
Resolution 2022-0159, awarding a total sum not to exceed $135,000 to the City of Olmsted Falls for the East River Road Park Playground Equipment Project from the District 5 ARPA Community Grant Fund. Resolution 2022-0160, awarding a total sum not to exceed $76,500 to the City of Olmsted Falls for the Village Green Park Playground Equipment Project from the District 5 ARPA Community Grant Fund. Resolution 2022-0161, awarding a total sum not to exceed $480,000 to Olmsted Township for the purpose of the Olmsted Township Nature Trail and Dog Park from the District 5 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Madam Chair, the falls is separate from the township, so
Oh.
if we could do 159, 158, and 160.
We've already done 158.
Yeah, we've already
so
done
we can
158.
do these
We
two.
did, then 159.
2 more
Yes.
to go.
159, 160.
Okay, sorry about that.
Okay, if you would present on the next 2, gentlemen.
Yes, you'll be happy to know my speech covered all 3 projects, so I will turn it over to Engineer Sheehy.
Thank you.
Well, both of these are, they're playground rehabilitation projects, replacing existing playground equipment. The two playground areas, one is really more of a very walkable, right sort of in the center of the historic district of the community. It really, right now, it's more a playground for really small kids. So the proposed playground will be more enhanced ADA accessibility. It'll be multi-generational. It'll allow for kids of all ages and also some parents to get up there and be able to play with their kids on the equipment. They're modernized and much nicer than what was there, which had sort of a limited appeal because it was really, the old stuff was really geared more towards small kids. It is also showing signs of wear. Both of those playgrounds are over 20 years old, and although they've been maintained by the city, they still are at the point where they really need to be replaced. They're both similar areas. Like I said, the one on the East River side is more of a picnicky area for people, and the one on the west side of the river is a lot of kids and adults just walk to the park from surrounding areas. And that's it for both of the playgrounds.
I'm sorry, isn't there a covered bridge over there somewhere?
There is, actually, the covered bridge is kind of a little treasure there, and it really links our central business district and restaurants and an old
loved
section of
that
town.
bridge.
You cross the bridge, and then you're on a very quiet street, and the playground, there's, on the left-hand side would be on that street. So it's really, everything's really within walking distance. We do have a tremendous amount of pedestrians and kids that ride their bikes up there or walk, or parents that push strollers, that type of thing. It's a nice local community park, but it also does attract people from the surrounding communities as well.
That's a nice addition, and after you walk through the bridge, I love that bridge. Any other questions from my colleagues? Mrs. Baker?
Thank you. And again, it looks like a good, worthwhile project. Just a couple questions on the money. You have here for the first project, the $150,000 ask, and this may be a typo, but it says City of Olmsted Falls General Fund and in-king services. You
In
mean
kind, yes.
Yeah, sorry. I saw that above, and I thought that must be in kind. So can you elaborate on that $10,000 in kind?
Yeah, the service department in-house does a lot of the demo and prep work for the site, and also some of the finish work when it's done, spreading protective material on the ground and site cleanup and landscaping. And they really do that with their own in-house forces. So that would be the in-kind contribution on.
And where did that in kind, again, who contributed?
That's the city. The city will
okay.
use their service department with, labor and materials from service will be providing that.
I see, okay. And so the contribution from your general fund is actually $5,000? If the total funding,
I believe that's correct.
That
yes,
sound right?
yes.
Okay. So again, this project would not happen without the dollars from the ARPA.
That's correct, yeah.
If I may, the second project, again, the in-kind is also the city work, is that?
Yes, same type of demo work and the service department work, correct.
And in this particular case, though, you actually got $73,500 from the Capital Improvement Community Park.
That's correct. It's
Is that from the state of Ohio, the Department of Natural Resources?
correct, through ODNR, yes.
That's great. Congratulations on that. That's
Thanks.
not always an easy ask.
It's a tough thing to get. We're
It
really
is.
excited about that, yeah.
So that brings that ask from $150,000 down to about $76,000.
Correct.
On both of these, if approved, do you look for these to be finished here in the next year or so?
Yes, yeah, and really it's ordering the equipment, and then once we can actually get the equipment delivered, it goes up pretty quickly.
Okay, good. Thank you for answering.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Do I hear a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Baker, Gallagher. If there's no further conversations, I ask for in support of the motion, or nay if you're not in favor of it. All
Aye.
All in favor? Any against? Gentlemen, congratulations. This moves to the full council.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your support.
Madam Clerk, can you repeat the last one? Because we did need to separate it. It was the township.
Yes. Resolution 2022-0161, awarding a total sum not to exceed $480,000 to Olmsted Township for the purpose of the Olmsted Township Nature Trail and Dog Park from the District 5 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Someone representing Olmsted Township would come to the podium and identify themselves, first their name, then their title, and then the organization they represent, because sometimes we have a third party that comes with them.
My name is Lisa Zver. I'm a trustee in Olmsted Township. With me is trustee Janine Kress from Olmsted Township and trustee Riley Alton from Olmsted Township. And we have a very brief presentation. We wanted to thank all of you for the opportunity to present our nature trail and bark park. Thanks to County Council for the distribution of ARPA funding. Decision to allows local leadership to present projects to benefit their communities. Many of these projects would not be possible without this funding. Sincere thanks to Mike Gallagher. Mike, you've been an advocate, a friend of our community and the board. You have encouraged us and worked with us to serve Olmsted Township and our residents. Thank you.
Good morning. Janine Kress, Olmsted Township. Thank you again, and we'll get to the presentation here. I'm going to be referring to the slides and also to my notes. This is a map of Olmsted Township, 10 square miles, 16,000 residents. If you'll take a look in the lower left-hand corner, you'll see a nice dog. That's the location of our nature trail and dog park. It is actually in the fastest growing area of our community, home to about 4,000 residents, about 25% of our population, most of them young families, newly retired boomers, and young singles who reside in the apartments that are right next door. This 30-acre site was donated to us by a builder in the area when they discovered they were really unable to use that land. It has a very restricted use. It can only be used for recreation or government use. The purpose of this park is threefold. First of all, to provide a natural environment for the 1 mile walking trail. Second, to provide a park for dogs and their humans. And third, to provide stormwater containment in this area, which is right now extremely compromised because of development. This is a very big issue for us, as it is a very, it will impact our update of our master plan for land use. As you have this development, you have so many surfaces, you have additional stormwater. So this is a way for us to contain on this 30-acre site. I need the next slide, Lisa. This is a sketch of our nature trail and dog park. And we are going to be working to create an eco-friendly environment with native plants and trees. We'll work with Southwest Conservation District. The trail will be a multi-tiered 1 mile asphalt and boardwalk trail, completely handicapped accessible, as will the parking lot be accessible. The goal is to preserve the natural character of the area using the natural plants, plants native to this area. The interior of the walking trail will be more of a managed meadow with the appropriate sized and collection of plants that grow well in this area. The The parking lot will accommodate the dog park and the walking trail. I think there are 40 spaces. We call it our Bark Park, will be developed with a protected entry for large and small dogs, exercise equipment, shade trees, rest areas. In the area, we're also going to provide other amenities that are going to be very important for people as they use this site. And that would be a picnic pavilion, grills, park benches, bike racks. We're looking at, all the things that are necessary. When you have dogs, you need pet waste stations, you need trash cans, you need all these things that will make it a clean and safe place. We intend to have lighting to make it safe, though the park will really only be used during the daylight hours. We want water. We need water. When you have dogs, you need water for them, and you also need it for humans. As they're at the picnic pavilion, you want to make sure that you have what you need. We have a very small barn that's on the property. We used it when we were partnered with Cleveland Crops. They built the barn, and when they were no longer able to use the facility, they left the barn for us. So we plan to use this as a community venue for local groups, whether it's scouts or groups associated with our schools, our community, to come in and possibly fundraise there, maybe sell prepackaged snacks and water, and just provide another layer of community involvement. We see this as a great opportunity for people to gather. There will be gathering spaces also for people. We also have in mind some kind of a feature, and we are looking at it to be a kind of an interactive thing. We have several ideas rolling around, but that takes a little bit of forethought and usually some private funding on that. I'll need the next slide, Lisa. Oh, I did want to say one other thing. Can you go back to that one? Yep. Okay. The street at the bottom to the south is Shady Road. Shady Road only has some sidewalks on it. So a companion project will be to construct sidewalk allowing safe connection from the homes, which are actually farther south and slightly west, from those homes on Stearns Road, to Stearns Road, which is to the east. Stearns Road is a project that will begin in 2023, collaborating the Cuyahoga County Public Works and the Ohio Turnpike project will begin in 2023. It will ultimately connect this whole area to our town center at the corner of Bagley and Stearns Road. This is a very, very big deal. It will include expansion of the intersection there at Bagley and Stearns. So this connectivity that we will have from existing sidewalk all the way to Stearns Road and ultimately to our town center is a very big component, but it's not calculated into this project cost. This is a different, we are seeking other funding, actually may have that approved already. Next slide, please. This talks about our vision and our partners. Where there is no vision, the people perish. That's not my words, that's the words from the Bible. So when you want to have a vision and you want to ensure that people all buy into it, then you start with some good planning, resident input. We did this through our Olmsted Township Master Plan for Land Use in 2013. We worked with Cuyahoga County Planning. That plan is about to be updated based mainly on stormwater considerations and the desire of the community to ensure that we have planned, slow-moving able to absorb new residents and new things into our community. We certainly, what we don't want is to have an overload on stormwater and other issues, traffic. And so our goal is to take a look at that and see, does it still match the vision of the community? Second thing is our NOACA TLCI Plan 2014. We were one of the very first communities that went in with NOACA on that TLCI plan. That's a connectivity plan, and we have been fortunate right now to have received grant money on a couple of projects, and it has made all the difference in our neighborhoods. It has connected people, and this is what you're really looking for. This project, the connection project that I just talked about, I think is number 3 on that plan, so it would be the next one we'd pick off. Also, our Olmsted Township Comprehensive Strategic Plan 2019. We did this with significant resident input, both in person, online. We talked to people. We had a very diverse community of about 30 people representing all different groups. We have the largest manufactured home park in Ohio. We had seniors on it. We had young families. We had some staff. We had some people from our service department, our police and fire safety services. So we tried to get as much information as we could. We had a very good response to our online. And people told us, how do they want their community to look? How do we want it to look? What do we want? And this expansion of outdoor recreation facilities absolutely was ranked number 2 behind only economic development. If you know anything about townships, we are unable to levy an income tax. And so our base for providing any services is our property tax. So when people say they want something and they're willing to fund it and willing to talk about it, that was number 2. Development of outdoor spaces, recreation spaces, trails, sidewalks. This is their goal. I do not think that we can minimize the impact of COVID on our communities. With few sidewalks in certain areas, we saw people walking in the street wanting to get out, many working from home. I'm no prognosticator of the future, but this is going to be a long time making the readjustment in our societies. These outdoor spaces are going to be critical for people to maximize what they can with their families and their own work lives and their own well-being. Without these spaces, your quality of life suffers and deteriorates. I can't say enough about our partners. We work extremely collaboratively with Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District. Cuyahoga County has been a terrific partner for us. First Energy, there's an entire corridor of wires on this property. We've worked with First Energy. They're very supportive of our project. So Water Conservation District, wow. You want to see a happy group of people interested in making the world better, go to one of their annual meetings. You are going to be so excited. And they have already talked with us about what kind of trees we'll need, where we're going to place these things, how it will provide the best atmosphere for not just the dog park, but throughout the area to add interest and enhance the experience. We have very supportive residents and businesses that have already contributed, and I think once, there's nothing like seeing something in the concrete and then people start joining forces. So we're looking forward to the opportunity on that one too. Next slide, Lisa. This is our last slide, and I have to tell you that we have touched a lot of folks and we find a lot of support, but one of the most interesting ones was our opportunity to work with our schools. And our third grade teachers were reconfiguring their local government unit. And they focused mainly on Olmsted Falls, the city, and then realized that more than half the kids lived in the township. So they asked us for information on the township, and I went one day and talked with them and talked about how local government is where it all happens. And I started to talk about a dog park in our nature trail. So they went back with this, and you know how you always are looking for funding. You need support. You need ideas. You're going to make presentations. So these kids, for their final project, presented these slides to us. And actually, I think Riley was there that day when they did their presentation. And so they came back with their ideas about what they thought the goals were, you know, for dogs to have fun. Yep, and people too. And so this was, you know, they had ideas for us, an overview. We were so pleased. We did a proclamation for them and sent them little goodie bags with some things that talk about Olmsted Township. I want to close with just one thing. One of the little girls in the who's 9 years old decided she was going to take it upon herself to go even further. She's a Girl Scout, and she wrote us a letter. And in her letter, she said, I understand from what we did at school that you have problems with standing water. And so I think maybe if you cover it up when it's going to rain, and then pull that cover off when the sun is shining, it's going to dry up really a lot better. And so thank you for listening to my suggestion. And capital letters, please write back soon. And I can't wait to walk my dog in the dog park. So this is the kind of thing that we think is going to enhance our quality of life, enrich our community. And again, we appreciate you listening to us, and I think you can see our passion as we go forward. We'll take questions now.
Thank you. Do any of my colleagues have questions for the trustees?
Madam Chair, if I could make a brief comment as well.
Certainly.
Riley Alton, Olmsted Township trustee, very grateful to be here. I'll be short. I want to be respectful of the committee's time today. But I just want to highlight 2 points that Trustee Kress made here. One is that we have very constrained revenue streams as a township, and this project really would not be possible without these ARPA dollars. To Councilwoman Baker's point earlier, community project grants in the state capital budget can be very competitive, very difficult to obtain. But because of the joint effort of this board, all 3 of us working together, we did receive $300,000 in the state capital budget for this project. So between these dollars and those dollars, we hope to see this completed as quickly as possible for residents to use and enjoy. And then one last point, this is also part of a broader initiative, the Olmsted Township Parks Initiative, which began a few years before I started on the board. The first park for that, our first park ever in the township, the other parks are in the Falls, is actually Brentwood Park, right across from Vitamix, if you're familiar with the area. And we opened that just a few weeks ago, and that also received funding from the state that really made the project possible. So this is part of a broader vision based off of the community plan that Trustee Kress highlighted, and would truly appreciate the favorable consideration of County Council and appreciate the opportunity to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ms. Baker.
Thank you. And thanks for that last comment also. It's always good to know when state contributes towards cities and townships. It is hard to get. You really have to know how to ask and lobby for it. And so I know the process. It's well worth mentioning. Just a couple quick questions on the stormwater retention. That could be a pretty big deal, and I know you mentioned that it is. How much of this 575 is going towards that retention of water?
It's an interesting question, and I'm so glad that you asked the question. Our original estimate on the entire project for the 30-acre site development was around 575. And we figured when Councilman Gallagher said, if you have a shovel-ready project, you got something in mind, you better bring it. We figured, whoa, we're going to get this one covered. Well, we got something yesterday. I haven't even showed Riley or Lisa. I think they may be shocked, but the configuration, as I said, with wetlands, we just got this yesterday, so I couldn't go into the presentation. The between the containment of that to avoid too many wetlands, which is almost 40% of the property now. The project is now, ready, $925,000. And the significant majority will be the trail, because that trail has to be in a certain area that is going to minimize buying credits somewhere else. We're looking to ensure that we are containing on our site and not contributing to problems. So most of that money will be for the construction of the trail to minimize the wetlands issue. The rest of it will be the dog park, which we've decided needs to be larger. So our original estimate here is not exactly right. The area will be larger. And we want to ensure that people are going to use this, so the picnic area also will be strategically placed. But most of the money will be, so we have the $300,000 from the state of Ohio, and we want to publicly thank Senator Dolan, Representative Patton, very, very supportive of us, and the $480,000 if we are awarded that. And then we have money within our general fund set aside for park development, and the remainder of that will come from our general fund.
If I may follow. So the state funding that you received wasn't targeted to something else? Was it always for the retention of this?
Always for this.
So if I may, so the total project of 575 is really more like
925.
9, 6, 7, 8. So that's about, what is that, 300,000 to 400,000 more.
Yes.
So you're confident that with the state dollars, the ARPA dollars that you're getting, you are within the range
Yes.
of being able to complete the project?
Yes. And this project, we'd like to begin it once we know we have our funding. If this is forthcoming from the county, we would begin the project immediately, hopefully for opening in the spring when people would enjoy it. Just a word about what Riley just said about our other park. We did receive an CDSG grant from the county for that. We are very appreciative. We also received ODNR money for that. We used cost share money from Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District, and we used 0 tax dollars for that park. So this is a much larger project, but we are confident that our funding is set and we can proceed with your help.
That's, thank you for that. If just real quickly, as you said earlier, the coffers for, of course, a township is much less, and you don't have an income tax. So for your township to contribute $50,000 is a significant, really, investment in this, because there are a lot of places to put money, and you are putting yourself in front first.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate seeing that. Also, it is impressive that the small businesses are contributing. Can you elaborate a little bit more on $45,000 from the businesses in
Yes.
Olmsted Township? I think is saying a lot.
Well, we have a very small but very engaged local community, and I'll just tell you about one of the gals. She's our local pizza shop, and she cannot do enough. I fully anticipate her. She wanted to contribute to the first park, and she purchased a dog fountain, the water fountain that is for adults, kids, and dogs. And so we almost don't ask. And so we will again want to go out with people contributing to benches, like their name on a bench, in honor of a family member. We've had one of the attorneys in our town wants to have exercise equipment. So, we've said you can sponsor an item or you can just give us money. We had one of our local businesses just said, here's $2,000. You use it how you think you need to have it. So it has been word of mouth, and they've just come through for us. They're very small, it's been the local businesses that have been the backbone.
So on the application that you've submitted, the 45,000, that's support from local small businesses, that's money already collected?
Already collected.
And what you're saying is that perhaps there will be more?
I anticipate.
Okay, very good. I mean, that's
If they
hard to
build,
do.
if they build it, when they build it, they will
Right.
come.
Working towards that, getting the state dollars, working with your community, contributing on your own behalf. Those are all not easy accomplishments. So I applaud you for that, and I look forward to this project.
Thank you so much, Ms. Baker.
Any other comments? Mr. Gallagher?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you all for being here. As you all know, that I say the hardest job in Cuyahoga County running anything is the township trustees. And every time we think we've done something good for you, like our friend Brendan back there, we scoop them up and take them away.
Yes, we're still not happy about that one.
I understand that, and I can appreciate that. Although we have one to offer you if you want them, but we'll talk later.
What about the rest of us? You just can't give away staff.
Well, I want something, naming rights to a bench or something for them. But the one thing, it's hard to run anything without funds, and it's your jobs are impossible. And I've seen how you've had to go back and forth with the residents who expect more from less. And I can tell my colleagues that if there's a nickel under a rock in Olmsted Township, they've looked, and they found it, and they banked it, and they used their funds wisely. They're very aggressive in pursuing what we offer here in the county, and couldn't be more than happy to hopefully provide these funds to get this important project done. My only wish was that Councilwoman Simon was going to be here. She was so excited when she saw the plan. She unfortunately couldn't be here. She is very much into our four-legged friends, as I am. So thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Council President?
Again, I just thank you for being here as well. We received so many requests, far beyond the dollars that we're working with. So this is an important project. Dog parks are enjoyed all across the county. Incredible project, and I'm glad to be a part of helping to look to move this forward. So I'll say now, you have my support, and I ask that my name be added to this item.
Thank you. As my colleague Sunny Simon said last week, we are incredibly fortunate to have received these ARPA funds, and we are pleased to be able to provide the communities who work hard to provide us with the kind of people we enjoy representing across our districts, the opportunity to receive these funds back in a way that will help enhance the quality of life in each of our communities. So thank you for your work on behalf of the shared constituents we have. And I would accept a motion at this time.
I'll make that motion.
Moved and seconded. If there are no other questions, all in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed? None opposed. Madam Clerk, this motion is approved and moves on to the full council. Thank you all for your work on our behalf. Is there any other miscellaneous business today? With no miscellaneous business, we are adjourned.